Chosen ones, can you feel it stirring in the atmosphere? That electric rush that tells you something monumental is about to unfold? Right now, you stand on the threshold of a new season, one so ripe with opportunity that it can turn your life upside down in the most glorious way. This is no mere coincidence. You are here because the money flow you have long been waiting for is finally here, ready to burst into your reality like a tidal wave of abundance. Pause for a moment and consider every obstacle that tried to block your path. Every closed door, every disappointment, every seemingly impossible challenge. None of it has been wasted. Each hurdle was refining your faith, sharpening your vision, and preparing you to receive blessings so magnificent that your past struggles will pale in comparison. You did not stumble upon this message by chance. There is a divine orchestration happening here, and the one who holds the stars in place has aligned this moment to activate your next level of prosperity. Comment 777 below if you sense this shift, if you dare to believe that your financial breakthrough is closer than your next heartbeat. Do it as an act of faith, a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive what has been stored up with your name on it. This is not a random sequence of digits. 777 is the number of divine completion, a reminder that what was once delayed is about to be delivered. The waiting season is over, and the time for overflow has arrived. Chosen ones, you have felt the tension in your spirit, that relentless pull toward something greater. Perhaps you have prayed for financial relief, wondering if heaven heard your cries. Maybe you have sowed seeds in tears, hoping against hope that they would yield a harvest beyond your comprehension. Let me assure you, not one tear, not one prayer, not one act of faith has gone unnoticed. Every seed you planted was destined to bloom at the appointed time, and that time is now. Like a farmer who has diligently tended his fields, you are about to witness a crop so abundant it defies logic. In this season, miracles of provision will find you in unexpected ways. Doors you never knew existed will open. Opportunities will appear that you once thought were out of reach. Debt that loomed over you like a dark cloud will dissipate under the radiant light of supernatural breakthrough. You see, financial freedom is not just about numbers in a bank account. It is a spiritual state, a realm of unshakable trust, where you know that the same power that raises the sun each morning is at work in your finances. Take this to heart. The money flow you've been waiting for is not happening by your might or your hustle alone. Yes, your hard work and diligence matter, but beyond that is a divine factor that multiplies your efforts. When you partner with this limitless force, you enter a realm where your labor is supercharged by grace, where one small seed of faith can produce a forest of returns. Some might call it favor, some might call it the anointing, but the truth is that when heaven breathes on your finances, what was once tight and scarce suddenly becomes abundant and overflowing. Chosen ones, you must position yourself to receive. Like the widow who prepared jars for the oil to fill, you need to create the capacity for the miracle. That might mean adjusting your mindset from lack to abundance, from doubt to expectation. It might mean opening a new account in faith that funds are on the way, or drafting the business plan you've been hesitating to finalize. This is a season for bold moves, for stepping out of your comfort zone and making decisions that reflect the reality you are expecting. Comment 777 below if you are ready to prepare your vessels for the oil of increase. There is power in your declaration, power in the words you speak and the actions you take. Let heaven and earth witness that you refuse to stay stuck in the old patterns of limitation. Let every syllable of that comment broadcast your readiness to participate in this divine flow of wealth that is about to surge into your life. The money flow you've been waiting for is about far more than paying bills or affording luxuries. It's about living in the overflow so you can be a blessing to others. Imagine the causes you can support, the families you can help, the dreams you can unlock for those who have lost hope. True prosperity is never selfish. It's an ever-increasing cycle of giving and receiving. As you are blessed, you become a blessing, and as you bless others, you open yourself to receive even more. Some of you have been taught that desiring more money is greedy or unspiritual. That lie has kept too many gifted souls living beneath their means, unable to fully manifest their calling. Hear this: money is simply a tool, a resource that magnifies what is already in your heart. If your heart is set on doing good, more money will empower you to do more good. If your heart is set on generosity, increased finances will broaden the reach of your generosity. Do not be ashamed of wanting the resources necessary to fulfill your divine purpose. Embrace the fact that God delights in your prosperity because it expands the kingdom's influence on earth. Chosen ones, break free from the shackles of small thinking. This is a time for big faith, big dreams, and big moves. The currency of heaven is not fear, it's faith. The language of heaven is not doubt, it's expectation. Position your heart and mind in the place where miracles are born, where the impossible becomes the inevitable. Let your inner dialogue reflect abundance rather than scarcity, hope rather than despair, gratitude rather than complaint. A grateful heart is a magnet for blessings, a vessel that can hold the weight of the favor coming your way. Even now, some of you feel a trembling in your spirit. It's the resonance of truth, the confirmation that you are on the cusp of a divine appointment with financial breakthrough. This trembling is not anxiety, it is anticipation. It is your soul recognizing that everything is aligning for the promise to be fulfilled. In those moments when doubt creeps in, remember the testimonies of those who have gone before you. Countless stories throughout history echo the same message. When the appointed time comes, no force of darkness can hold back what God has ordained for you. Let me remind you of one such story. A crowd of hungry people had only 5 loaves and 2 fish. In the hands of the miraculous, that little turned into more than enough. The lesson is clear. When you place what you have into the hands of the supernatural, multiplication occurs. Your time, talent, and treasure might seem insufficient, but they are about to be multiplied beyond your wildest dreams. The money flow you've been waiting for will take what you have and transform it into a testimony that will baffle the naysayers. Comment 777 if you believe that your 5 loaves and 2 fish are on the verge of a massive multiplication. Declare that this is your moment, your season of miraculous increase. There is power in your public confession, power in every word that aligns with faith rather than fear. Let your keyboard become a weapon of spiritual warfare, striking down every lie that says you will never have enough, you will never break free, you will never rise above your current circumstances. Those lies are crumbling right now under the authority of truth. Chosen ones, get ready, because once this flow starts, it doesn't trickle, it gushes. Opportunities will come in waves so swift and so plentiful that you'll wonder how you ever lived in lack. Financial doors will open, perhaps new business ventures, unexpected promotions, wise investments, even supernatural debt cancellations. Do not be startled when these things begin to manifest one after another, as if a domino effect has been triggered in the heavenly. That is precisely what is happening. The chain reaction of your faith is unleashing unstoppable momentum. Yet, in the midst of the overflow, never lose sight of the one who blesses. Prosperity is a magnificent gift, but it is not meant to replace the giver. Keep your heart humble, your spirit grateful, and your hands ready to bless others. When you operate as a conduit of love and generosity, the flow never ceases. In fact, it intensifies. This is the kingdom principle. To those who steward well, more is given. Let that stewardship begin now, even before you see the manifestation, so that your character can sustain the weight of the blessing. You might ask, how do I hold on to faith when everything around me suggests lack? The answer: you feed your spirit with truth. You meditate on promises rather than problems. You surround yourself with testimonies of breakthrough rather than voices of defeat. You talk to yourself, not in a way that reaffirms your fears, but in a way that refocuses your faith. I am chosen. I am blessed. My supply comes from limitless sources. My path drips with abundance. Speak it until your words become your reality. Chosen ones, you are stepping into a realm where the ordinary no longer applies. The rules that govern average lives do not apply to those with extraordinary calling. You are set apart, anointed, and destined for exploits that defy the boundaries of logic. Expect the unexpected. Anticipate the supernatural. Walk into each day with an open heart and open hands, ready to receive the next drop of favor that leads to rivers of provision. This is not hype, this is the undeniable effect of aligning your spirit with your divine assignment. When thoughts of doubt creep in, treat them like seeds you refuse to water. Instead, pour your attention into seeds of faith, seeds of hope, seeds of expectancy. You will be astonished by how quickly your internal environment shifts, and once your inner climate changes, your external world has no choice but to follow suit. You are the architect of your destiny, co-laboring with heaven to bring about unprecedented outcomes. Comment 777 if you are committed to this new architecture, if you vow to design your life around trust in the divine flow of finances that is now overtaking you. Each declaration strengthens the foundation of faith in your life. Each affirmation builds a wall that doubt cannot penetrate. Let this be your anthem. I will never live in lack again. I will never bow to the spirit of not enough again. I will never surrender to fear again. From this day forward, abundance is my new normal. Chosen ones, the money flow you have prayed for is no longer a distant dream. It is a present reality, waiting for you to tune your heart to its frequency. The question is, will you stay stuck in old ways of thinking, or will you leap into the new realm of possibility that has opened before you? Remember, those who hesitate risk missing the moment. Step out even if it feels uncomfortable. Dare to believe even if it feels counterintuitive. Live as though the promises are already fulfilled, and watch how swiftly they manifest. You might wonder, what if I get my hopes up and nothing changes? But that is fear speaking. Fear that attempts to insulate you from disappointment. Yet hope is the currency of miracles. You cannot afford to let fear rob you of your rightful inheritance. Shake off the what-ifs. Abandon the worst-case scenarios. Fill your mind with visions of success, breakthroughs and blessings so rich they leave you speechless. Faith is not about denying the existence of challenges. It is about denying those challenges the authority to overshadow your promise. A time will come, and it's coming soon, when you will look back on this moment and realize it was the turning point. The day your spirit said yes to divine provision. The day you stamped your faith on the timeline of your life. The day you decided to write a new narrative. What if the seemingly impossible is already done in the spiritual realm, just waiting for your agreement to be unleashed in the physical? Could you muster the courage to believe that wholeheartedly? Chosen ones, the fact that you are listening right now means your spirit is already leaning toward yes. Go all in. Give that yes everything you've got. Let it reverberate through your thoughts, your emotions, your daily routines. Let it transform your interactions, your decisions, your declarations. Tell the mountains of lack to move, and they will move. Tell the oceans of debt to part, and watch them recede in awe of the power backing you. This is not a fairy tale. This is a kingdom reality waiting for your partnership. Comment 777. If you feel a holy fire rising in your belly right now, if your heart is pounding and your mind is racing with fresh inspiration, do not ignore it. This is the surge of destiny, the blazing sign that your season has changed. Others around you may not understand it. They may question your confidence or criticize your optimism, but they did not see what you saw, did not hear the whisper of truth that you have heard. This is your journey, your testimony unfolding, your moment of divine alignment. Will everything magically fix itself overnight? Possibly not. Sometimes the miracle is sudden and sometimes it is progressive. But from this point onward, you walk in a new frequency. Even the so-called delays will serve as opportunities for deeper growth, sharpening your perspective and enlarging your capacity to handle greater blessings. When the day of full manifestation comes, you will stand in awe, remembering how your faith was forged in the waiting. The money flow you've been waiting for is here, chosen ones. Let the echoes of this truth resound in your mind. I am stepping into abundance. No more waiting, no more wishing, no more wandering in the wilderness of lack. The promised land of financial freedom is not just a story. It is your portion, ready to be possessed. But as with any promised land, giants may lurk. Giants of self-doubt, negativity, or fear. Face them head-on, knowing that you come armed with a word from the divine, a word that never fails. In the midst of it all, do not forget gratitude. Gratitude is the posture that accelerates your blessings. Even before your bank account reflects the shift, thank the provider for the breakthrough. Even before the phone rings with good news, celebrate as though the deal is done. Gratitude transcends time, pulling future blessings into your present reality. It reminds you and all the unseen forces that you are anchored in trust, not swayed by appearances. Chosen ones, do you grasp the magnitude of this moment? You stand at the intersection of faith and favor, and your entire life trajectory can pivot in a heartbeat. If you have ever wondered why you felt different, why your spirit was so restless, why you couldn't be satisfied with the mundane, here is your answer. You were designed for extraordinary impact. The resources you require are now aligning themselves under a divine command. All that remains is your agreement. Comment 7777. Shout it from the rooftops if you must, to seal this declaration in both the physical and spiritual realms. Let every doubt flee at the power of your words. Let every generational curse of poverty disintegrate under the authority of your faith. This is how legacies change. This is how families step out of cycles of lack and into generational wealth. This is how you become the living proof that nothing is impossible for those who believe. Let each breath you take be filled with expectancy. Let each day begin with the words, "My money flow is here," and watch how your spirit awakens to possibilities you never saw before. Watch how your relationships shift, your creativity ignites, your energy levels soar. Because once the windows of heaven open, the blessings aren't limited to your finances alone. They cascade into every area of your life, saturating you with favor that cannot be contained. Chosen ones, the money flow you've been waiting for is not on its way. It's already here, knocking on the door of your life. Will you open it wide? Will you welcome the opportunities, the sudden breakthroughs, the expansions that come with it? Or will you let fear keep you in a place of hesitation? The choice is yours, but the invitation stands. Step into your next chapter with confidence, knowing that you are neither alone nor ill-equipped. You stand under an open heaven, called to demonstrate what a life of faith can produce. Embrace this truth. You are worthy of good things. You are worthy of increase. You are worthy of a life that reflects the abundance of a limitless Creator. It's not arrogance. It's alignment with the divine blueprint. The very fact that you desire to elevate, to bless others, to live a life of purpose, This is evidence that the seeds of greatness are already in you. Water them with faith. Sunlight them with gratitude, protect them from the weeds of negativity, and watch them bloom into a financial harvest that will blow your mind. Do you sense a new confidence rising within you? That's the real-time manifestation of your spirit catching hold of these truths. Do not let it fade when you close this video or step back into your daily grind. Cultivate it like a precious flame, feeding it daily with encouragement, with declarations, with unwavering focus on the promise. Soon you'll find that the intangible sense of hope has become a tangible reality you can touch, measure, and share with others. Chosen ones, we are on the verge of something massive, an awakening of abundance that the world has yet to fully grasp. You are the forerunners, the pioneers who will show what it looks like to walk in financial freedom without losing humility, to carry wealth without letting it carry you. The journey ahead is breathtaking, and it begins here, in your willingness to believe that the money flow is already at your doorstep, waiting for you to fling the door wide open. Chosen ones, let this be the moment you shatter every barrier that once made you question your own potential. You have already come too far, endured too many trials, and carried too many promises in your heart to settle for anything less than the abundance that is rightfully yours. Lift your chin, square your shoulders, and recognize the royalty woven into your very being. Do you think it's a coincidence that so many doors have tried to shut in your face, that people have misunderstood your vision, that certain opportunities seemed to slip right through your fingers? No. It was all part of the shaping process, forging in you a faith that is unbreakable, a spirit that will not be denied, and a resolve that dares to claim every blessing ordained for your life. Even in the silence, even on the days when you felt completely abandoned, there was a still, small voice urging you forward. That voice was speaking of this hour, a time when the tide would turn in your favor. You might have felt alone, but you never truly were. The host of heaven watched over you, waiting for the exact moment when your faith, your readiness, and the divine timeline would converge. Now, is that convergence, that orchestrated collision of destiny and preparation, this is your grand unveiling, where the resources you once only dreamed about materialize, not in trickles, but in torrents so powerful they sweep away every last fragment of lack. Comment 77 below if you are prepared for this unveiling. If you are not just curious, but convinced that what has been promised to you is arriving swiftly. Let your fingertips testify to your certainty. Let every stroke on that keyboard echo the unstoppable force of your spirit. By taking that simple step, you align with a declaration that transcends mere letters and numbers. It becomes a rallying cry in the spiritual realm, summoning forth angelic assistance and clearing out any lingering resistance that might stand in your path. Chosen ones, imagine yourself standing under a waterfall of provision, soaking in wave after wave of unexpected income, strategic alliances, and creative ideas that generate wealth. This waterfall has been reserved with your name on it, waiting for the moment you would step beneath its flow. Too many people have camped upstream, trying to manually gather trickles of water, all the while unaware that a vast cascade of blessing was just a short distance ahead. But you, awakened soul, you have ventured forward in faith, refusing to settle for scraps when a feast is laid out for you. This season is about more than personal gain. Yes, your needs will be met and exceeded, but beyond that, you will find yourself transformed into a conduit for blessing. As the finances pour in, your perspective will shift, your horizon will widen. Causes that once seemed out of reach to support will become part of your daily life. You will write checks that bring tears of joy to those in need. You will stand in boardrooms and meeting halls with an authority you never imagined possessing. You will bring hope to people who have long forgotten how to believe in miracles. This is the ripple effect of your new chapter. Yet be prepared for those who may not comprehend your elevation. Some will ask why you deserve such favor, why resources seem to chase you down, why your prayers are answered in such dramatic fashion. They may question your motives or try to point out your past in an attempt to diminish your present blessing. Remember this truth. Favor is not about human logic, it's about divine selection. And you have been selected. The best response to doubters is simply to let your blessings speak for themselves. Real miracles need no explanation. They are their own witness. Right now, you might feel a mix of excitement and trepidation, as though you stand on a great precipice staring into a vast unknown. This is perfectly normal. Stepping into overflow requires courage. It challenges you to expand your self-perception, to receive at levels you once might have felt unworthy of. That is why it's called a breakthrough. Because it breaks through old mindsets, outdated beliefs, and inherited limitations. Embrace this process. Let the walls of every mental prison fall, brick by brick, until you stand free in the open air of limitless possibility. Chosen ones, do not forget the power of the words you speak. Your tongue can either beckon the flow of abundance or repel it. In moments of challenge, declare out loud, "I am favored, I am chosen, I walk in overflow." Let your declarations outnumber your doubts. Let praise outweigh complaint. Let hope outshine fear. As you do, you set the stage for the miraculous to become normal, and for what once seemed far-fetched to become your daily reality. Truly, life and death lie in the power of the tongue, and you hold the key to speaking life into every area of your finances. Some of you have lingering wounds tied to money, perhaps a lifetime of struggle, family trauma, or repeated setbacks. See this moment as a healing wind, blowing through every memory that told you prosperity was out of reach or came only through constant strife. Let that wind carry away resentment, bitterness, and the weight of regret. In their place, welcome a fresh revelation. You were never meant to struggle endlessly. That season was only a setup, conditioning you to appreciate and steward well the avalanche of goodness you're about to receive. Comment 77. If you can feel that healing wind even now, softly reshaping your internal narrative around wealth. By doing so, you're releasing every unhealthy attachment and stepping into a divine exchange. Your ashes for beauty, your heaviness for a garment of praise, your former lack for unstoppable abundance. You're saying to the cosmos, to the angels, to your own soul, I am ready to love, give, and grow without the shackles of financial distress. Chosen ones, keep your eyes open for signs and wonders along the way. You might receive an encouraging text out of nowhere, a check in the mail you never expected, or a sudden rush of clarity about a business idea. These are not coincidences. They are divine confirmations that your steps are in sync with a higher plan. Note each one, give thanks, and remember them when you face any temporary obstacle. These signs are like breadcrumbs leading you deeper into the forest of favor, urging you to trust even when you cannot see the full path ahead. The old cycles are ending, the new is emerging. In this new cycle, you don't just manage to get by each month, you have surplus. In this new cycle, you don't just daydream about philanthropy, you actually fund the visions that build communities and transform lives. In this new cycle, you don't just hope to break generational curses. You become the living evidence that curses can be turned into blessings. This might sound audacious, but it's a truth that has been echoing through your spirit for years, waiting for you to boldly claim it. When you embrace the abundance that is being offered, you'll notice not just your bank account changing, but also your heart posture. Compassion will flow more freely, kindness will become your default setting, and generosity will evolve from a good deed into a joyful habit. You'll realize that the more you give, the more capacity you have to receive, creating a virtuous cycle that enhances every dimension of your life. It's as though the keys to a new kingdom have been placed in your hands, and each act of faith unlocks yet another door to boundless possibilities. Chosen ones, watch out for the trap of self-sabotage. Sometimes, after a big breakthrough, a whisper of doubt may attempt to creep back in, telling you it's too good to be true, that your luck will surely run out. Silence that voice by reminding it of the promise that has been etched into your core. What comes from above cannot be undone by fleeting worries below. Stand firm in the knowledge that you do not rely on chance or luck, but on a system of spiritual law that never fails. You sow in faith, you reap in fullness, and that cycle can continue indefinitely if you guard your mindset. Can you envision the ripple effect your breakthrough will have? Friends and family members who once doubted the reality of miracles will witness living proof through you. Colleagues will be inspired to pursue their own dreams, seeing how you transcended limitations. Strangers who cross your path will sense an aura of hope around you, as though they stepped into a realm where burdens are lighter and dreams are feasible. This is not accidental. Your elevation is meant to elevate others. In shining your light, you give them permission to rekindle their own. Comment 777 if you're ready to champion this ripple effect, to become a catalyst for hope in a world that often feels hopeless. Every time you declare it, you're reinforcing a spiritual handshake with heaven, saying, "Count me in." I'm not just here for the benefits. I'm here for the responsibility that comes with them. Indeed, greater blessings bring greater responsibility, but also a deeper sense of purpose that makes life more fulfilling than ever before. Chosen ones, let me remind you that speed is not an issue for the omnipotent. A day, a week, or a month can drastically change your financial reality when you step into alignment. The number on your bank statement today can be dwarfed by tomorrow's unexpected influx. Instead of fixating on the clock, fixate on the revelation that time bends in the realm of the miraculous. Focus on the promises, and time itself becomes an ally rather than an enemy. You'll look back and realize that all the delays, all the waiting were setting the stage for something so lavish that any earlier fulfillment would have been premature. If you ever find yourself getting weary, remember the principle of rest. Rest is not laziness. It's a statement of trust. By resting, you show that you believe in a higher power working behind the scenes, orchestrating details you couldn't possibly manage. Stressing over every detail is a sign that you think it all depends on you. Resting, however, is a sign that you know you are partnering with forces far greater than yourself. In that posture of rest, ideas flow effortlessly. Provision appears seamlessly, and the environment becomes fertile ground for miracles. Chosen ones, it's vital to remain open to how this financial flow might manifest. Sometimes we limit ourselves by assuming it must come through a specific channel, a job, a certain client, or a known opportunity. Do not box in the infinite. Stay alert to new avenues. Perhaps you'll cross paths with someone who offers you an entirely different venture, or you'll awaken one morning with a fresh inspiration that you never saw coming. This flexibility keeps the doors open for blessings that may arrive in forms you never anticipated. Faith grows best in the soil of surrender, relinquishing control of the how and focusing on the yes. Yes, you are appointed for this season. Yes, your life can look radically different a month from now. Yes, the money flow is not just a fantasy, but a divine gift being handed to you. Yes, there will be challenges, but each challenge will pale in comparison to the unstoppable favor that covers you. When the storms arise, and they surely will, you'll find an anchor in the knowledge that your foundation is built on more than hustle or chance. It's built on an eternal promise that cannot be shaken. Comment 777 again if you need to reaffirm your stance, to re-anchor your spirit in this truth. Do not worry about repetitiveness, for each time you type it, your faith is multiplied. Each time you type it, another layer of the old falls away, making room for the new to take root. Let this act be a testament to your unwavering resolve, a digital echo of the unstoppable breakthrough happening in your soul. Chosen ones, your vantage point is changing. Once you stood at the base of the mountain, overwhelmed by its size, but now you see the path carved out for you. Step by step you ascend higher, each stride filled with confidence, each breath a declaration that you refuse to live beneath the standards set for you. When you reach the summit, and you will, you'll gaze back and see how every valley, every twist, every turn was essential to making you the courageous soul you are today. But do not stop at the summit. True visionaries look for new peaks, new ways to expand and bless. They understand that this journey is not a one-time event, but a continual unfolding. Every breakthrough paves the way for another. Every success story births new dreams. The horizon keeps extending, inviting you into deeper levels of wonder. That is the adventure of faith. It never grows stagnant, always beckoning you to experience the vastness of what is possible. Keep your heart tender. Do not let the hardness of the world creep in to dull your empathy or your passion. Wealth does not have to corrupt. It can refine when submitted to higher purposes. Let your wealth be a reflection of your character rather than a definition of it. Let it serve as a megaphone for your message of hope, rather than a muzzle that silences your conscience. By keeping your heart open, you ensure that the money flow remains pure, a vehicle for transformation both inside and outside your personal sphere. Chosen ones, can you feel the acceleration? The shift is not merely emotional or mental, it is spiritual. What used to take a year might now take a month. Opportunities that seemed to have expired might suddenly resurrect themselves. You'll sense a renewed fervor in your prayers, a sharper discernment in your decisions, and a bolder confidence in your steps. This is acceleration at its finest, a fast-forward button on your destiny that leaves behind every trace of stagnation. Lean into it with excitement, knowing you've been prepared for this velocity by the foundation laid in your quieter seasons. People might call you lucky, but you'll know better. Luck had nothing to do with it. Grace and faith were the twin engines powering your journey. They'll see the outcome, but not the private nights you spent wrestling with self-doubt, the morning routines of affirmations and declarations, the invisible battles you fought in your mind to stay aligned with your calling. When they question your success, remember that you owe no explanation to those who haven't walked your path. Your results will speak volumes, and for those with ears to hear, your life will serve as a living sermon on the goodness of a faithful Creator. Comment 777 if you are willing to be that sermon. If you're ready for the spotlight of testimony to shine through you, stand unashamed as a beacon of what is possible when ordinary people cling to extraordinary promises. Let the critics talk, let the spectators observe. You remain unwavering in your purpose, committed to stewarding the blessings that flow like rivers in your direction. The field is ripe for harvest, and you, chosen soul, have been gifted the sickle to reap the abundance waiting. Consider this your clarion call, the final push to abandon every lingering thread of hesitation. You have permission to walk in the fullness of the money flow that has always been your inheritance. Dismiss the small voices that attempt to question your worthiness. The one who formed you says you are worthy. Dismiss the notion that your past disqualifies you. This realm operates on redemption, turning even the darkest chapters into stepping stones toward divine purpose. Chosen ones, if you have ever felt a flame in your chest that refused to be put out, let it blaze freely now. You hold in your hands the match that ignites an unquenchable fire in your life. Fan it with faith, Stoke it with gratitude and watch as the heat of your passion transforms your surroundings. Those who once thought you too intense will suddenly see the fruits of your fervor in the overflow of provision that marks your steps. Stay vigilant, though. The arrival of blessings often attracts distractions meant to derail you. Keep your eyes locked on your purpose. When the noise around you increases, retreat to the stillness of your heart, where the truth of your calling resides. Let your daily actions reflect the unwavering conviction that nothing can separate you from the destiny that beckons. The tests of stewardship are coming, and your ability to remain faithful in the midst of accelerated blessing will speak volumes about your readiness for even greater levels of favor. Comment 7777. One more time, if you feel your spirit roaring like a lion, if you sense the unstoppable force of purpose surging through your veins, let it be known that you stand here, arms wide open, prepared to receive every resource heaven has allocated for you. Feel the atmosphere respond. You are not commanding the universe out of arrogance. You are cooperating with the divine's original plan for your life. In doing so, you activate cosmic principles that have always been available, but which require a heart aligned with unshakable faith. Chosen ones, the money flow is here. You can almost taste it in the air, feel it in the pulse of your day-to-day life. Embrace it without guilt or shame, because you have been called to a mission that demands ample resources. Whether it's feeding the hungry, building enterprises that employ the needy, funding education for marginalized communities, or simply living as a testament that miracles still happen, your wealth has a purpose. Align your intentions with that purpose and watch your capacity for impact grow exponentially.